Hello everyone, welcome to my English podcast. My name is Kaya and you are on the Tricot channel. It's been a while. It's been a while in English. I've been doing my French podcasts mostly live because I haven't had the time to deal with post-production. But I thought today was a good day to start doing my English podcasts again because my kids are at school. They started school and I'm actually pretty excited about it. I know that for some people it's a bittersweet moment when the kids return to school. For me, it's totally fine. I'm really happy because my kids love school. Actually, I don't know if my second kid loves school because it's her first year and she just started like today. But she wants to go to school. She's very excited about school. So it is a positive thing that school started so I can get back on a schedule and I can start again delivering you the English podcast as well. So there are going to be a lot of things here that you haven't seen. Not a lot. It hasn't been that long, but a few things that you haven't seen yet. And I might not be saying everything that I've done in the last, 2 months maybe. But, I've been crafting. So without further ado, I'm wearing my gorgeous, beautiful, amazing Rocket Tee by Tanis Lavallée. Last time I podcasted, I believe I was knitting it. And now I'm wearing it. So here it is. I'll back up so you can see. Oh, I'm stuck in yarn. Go figure. So this is it. It's my Rocket Tee. It has a beautiful little lace detail down the middle. Not the middle, the sides, and it's got an eyelet detail going down the raglan as well. And the two colors are two hand spun yarns that I spun from braids from created by LCB. So there's this very deep blue, green blue color that's called Emerald Pool, and the other one has some parts of it that's actually exactly the same color as this one. So this little line here is kind of a favorite part of mine because it comes and meets with the other color, but it's not from that braid, which is kind of interesting. And that one, I don't know what the color name was because I think it was an exclusive monthly colorway or something, but that's okay. It's BFL that I spun 2-ply out of, and I'm quite happy. It's a little bit thicker than a fingering weight, but I decided to go with the same needle size because for me, I liked the drape. I liked the result of my gauge swatch. So I decided to just go with the same size needle, and I think I took the size the second size, whereas if I had the right gauge I would have taken the third size, but it ended up being perfectly fine. I'm really happy with the size of it and with the feel of it, the drape, everything, the color, and all the finishings are in an I-cord, which I ended up doing a three stitch I-cord. In the pattern they ask you to do a 4-stitch I-cord, but they also ask you to do the I-cord with the mohair because usually you're doing one stripe in a fingering and one stripe in a mohair. So I figured if I'm doing an I-cord with a fingering versus a mohair, it's going to be thicker. So instead of doing 4 stitches, I'll do just 3. So knit 2 together, slip 3, knit 2 together, slip 3. Instead of knit 3, knit 2 together, slip 4. And it worked out perfectly. I have barely any left of this, and there's just a little bit left of the green. So the opposite, I have barely anything left of the dark and just a little bit more left of the striped one, but not enough to, it wouldn't have been enough to lengthen the sleeves to what I had originally. I thought maybe I would do a 3/4 sleeve, but there's no way I had enough to do that, so forget it. But I'm really happy with this one anyway, and I think it fits with my tattoo quite nicely. Look, the colors. Yeah. So that's one thing that's finished. I also finished a cardigan for my niece that you haven't seen at all. I started it while I was in vacation. I had made her a love note in the past, and it went through the washer and dryer. So I decided to make her another sweater, and I decided to make her a cardigan, and I also made it in superwash yarn so my sister could throw in the wash if she needed to. And so I used sock yarn, superwash, merino, nylon sock yarn. Most of it is in those, and I had lots of leftovers. So I had lots of like half skeins, a full skein, some minis, and they were all a bunch of different colors. And I'll put a picture right here of her wearing it. So I took all of those and I just played with color because I decided to do the Gartrelle by Tanis Lavallée as well, and it is a cardigan made in pieces, so you can just really have fun with the colors. I even did a little bit of intarsia in the back to make a little square, and like the fact that you can play with intarsia gives you so many options. And I did the back first, then I did the two fronts one at a time, so I knew that I was actually like doing the right number of rows before doing the decreases. And then I did the two sleeves one at the same time as well on two circular. It's back and forth, so it's super easy. And then you seam it all up, and then you do the neckband and the button bend. So I finished it right before I had to give it to her. I was at her house, at my sister's house with my niece when I was finishing the sweater so I could give it to her right before I left, and I left my mom to sew the buttons on. I don't like sewing buttons on garments. She's super cute in it, super happy with it, and I'm really happy I got to give her a present that was basically a belated birthday present because her birthday was in July. And she's starting school this year. She's 5, so she's gonna be super happy to have a super beautiful sweater to wear at school. Yummy coffee. Yes. So that's that. That pattern, I knew, like I bought it as soon as it came out, just because I knew I needed it. It's a basic in pieces cardigan. The sizes go from newborn all the way to big adult. It's perfect. It's for a DK weight, but I doubled fingering, and it was my gauge was a little bit big, tiny bit bigger, but mostly it was tighter and more dense, but I don't care. And so it's a great, like if you have a cardigan to have in your stash that's in pieces, it's a great option. Just do it. It's super simple. So that's one other thing that I finished. I finished some socks. I call it finished even though my ends are not woven in. You know. So this is Patons Kroy. I can't remember the color. I think it's like green pastures. No. Something stripes. Green something stripes. I don't know. I didn't keep the band, I don't think. Let me check if I did. Maybe I did. Maybe it's in there. No, that's a bill of some sort. I didn't. But yeah, it's one of the classic Patons Kroy socks colorway, and I used a different Patons Kroy, the brown, for the heels, toes, and cuffs. I did a fish lips kiss heel, which is kind of my go-to when I don't want to have to think about how to do. And when I'm walking knitting and I get to the heel, if I'm walking while I get to the heel, I'm just gonna start the fish lips kiss heel, just because as I'm walking, it's easier to knit this one than to knit a heel flap and gusset. Even though I have my heel flap and gusset recipe like down in my head, I don't have to stop and look at numbers. It's still easier to do the fish lips kiss heel in a social situation or a walking situation, so that's what I did. These are going to be for my cousin because I knew before starting, but I did my regular 46 stitch count with 2.25 millimeter needles, but Patons Kroy socks is definitely thicker than a fingering. It's more like a sport. So I knew that these were going to be a little bit big. So they're big. They're going to my cousin. She asked for a few pairs of socks. So this, and then when I started the second one, somehow I thought I had an extra ball somewhere. but I didn't, and I had already used one of the 2 balls for socks for my daughter, so I did not have enough to make 2 socks adult size. So I striped the end to make a nice gradient to the toe. I don't think my cousin's gonna mind, you know, it's socks. I don't mind when they're not matching. I also did it tutu rib, and I did a regular wedge toe, which is my preferred toe. So that's that for these. I just started new socks as well because I gotta have a walking project, and my walking projects are almost all the time socks. So this is my walking project. It is a mini that's like highlighter color, and I did a tutu rib again. It's my favorite these days. Don't ask me why. I used to do 1-1 all the time. Now I do 2-2. Gotta change it up. And I did 56 stitches, and I am knitting a colorway by Tiny Human Knits, who's Canadian. I love, love, love those colors and the stripes. I did hand wind that ball because look at that. It's just so pretty. It takes longer, but it's also prettier. I again lost the ball band for this one, but I think it's called 26 something. Really love it. And I'm trying to do a little design element in there that I won't necessarily talk about too much, because if it works the way I want it to work, it'll be out for testing at some point soon. So it'll basically probably be a very basic top-down sock with my top-down sock recipe with a little design element in it. Would you like that? Like, is there... Sometimes I think there's way too many basic patterns on like Ravelry available, but then every time someone brings out a new pattern that's a basics, people still buy it. So I'm guessing there's not too many. What's your thought on that? Obviously it would be in English and in French, which is a big plus for my community. Then the big project that happened in the last week and a half that I haven't put down, and that's why I haven't worked on other things at the same time, is this. It's well, first of all, I don't think I showed you the end result of my spinning for the Tour de Fleece, but it's finished. And then I was looking for a pattern for it, and then something happened in my life where someone is sick, someone very close to me who's very sick, and asked me as kind of half a joke if I could knit them a shawl. And well, obviously I can knit them a shawl, and so I brought them while they were at the hospital a shawl to wear while they were, you know, you can get really cold lying in a hospital bed. So I brought them a shawl. That's my slip stravaganza from Stephen West in a temporary manner while I started knitting on this. So I don't know how to hold it because I'm doing the I-cord bind off right now, so I'm at the end of it, but this is it. It's the Dotted Rays, or Dotted Ray, by Stephen West. So you start up here with very close together eyelets detail, and you kind of go bigger and bigger and bigger on the sections until the end. So those are all the colors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And I played Yard Chicken. I knitted almost all of them to the exact ending of the color. Some of them I decided to stop before the end of the ball because I wanted to start and stop at the edge all the time. But then when I got to the longer sections, there was no way I could do that. So anyway, I used up all the yarn, and I still had literally 2 full rows to do. It's all in garter stitch, and the I-cord finish. So for the I-cord finish, I went to like dig in my stash and I'm not 100% sure about my choice, to be honest. You can tell me what you would do. I wanted to use this, so I told myself maybe I use the green, the khaki green from Holzgarn that I have, but I thought it would be too light. So I thought I would use this, hold it double with this ebony color from Knowles Yarn, and together it could make like a darker, but I'm not sure I appreciate the marled effect with the handspun. But like if you back up a bit, there's no way you can see it. So I don't want to really redo an entire I-cord and 2 rows on a Stephen West shawl, because if you've ever done Stephen West shawls, you know, it takes forever to finish it. It took no time at all to make, but the finishing is, it takes a while. So I don't think I'm gonna undo it. I think maybe I could have chosen to just take from here. Tell me what you think. Just tell me what you think. But yeah, it was such an enjoyable knit because it's garter stitch, first of all, so there's basically no purling. And then knitting your handspun to the end of your handspun, like having just little tiny nuggets left, is like so rewarding. But you also, obviously I hand spun those, and then I hand wound them into balls, and then I hand knitted it, and then it's gonna go warm up someone I love very much through rough times. So that's like all the reasons that I do what I do, is to, make people happy with my knits, including myself. So I'm really happy with this project. And it brought me into like a shawl kick. So I'm gonna be knitting more shawls soon for sure. Also, Stephen West patterns are so generally intuitive once you've started doing it, and they make so much sense. Like, I feel like he goes through the simplest way of creating the funkiest things. You know what I mean? Like, you look at it and you go, oh my god, that looks really funky, I wonder how he does that. And then you do it and you go, oh yeah, simple. Like, this is tons of short rows. It's basically only short rows, but there's no wrap and turn. There's no German short row. There's no Japanese short row. It's just a basic turn and keep knitting. And then it's gonna create a gap. Oh well, you know what? We're gonna use those gaps to make big fat holes. Yay! Like, how smart is that? Let's not worry about the holes it creates. We're just gonna use it to create bigger holes. Genius. He's a genius, I'm telling you. So, you might know from what I'm saying right now that I will be participating into the MCAL this year, the Mystery Knit Along for the shawl. So last year was my first year, first year doing the Mystery Knit Along, and I was tempted to do it the year before too, but somehow, I don't know, the pattern clues didn't really talk to me. But now I know that it's not about the final result, it's about the process. The process is so much fun. So even if the final result is not something that you might wear, give it away to someone that will. Like, for me, I don't need 1,000,000 shawls, but if I can give it to someone as a gift or sell it to someone that wants it, I'll do it. And just going through the process of making the Mystery Knit Along shawls is just so much fun. So I will hopefully be doing that. I have to still look in my stash for what I have, because ideally I don't want to spend. I don't want to buy more yarn, so I'm going to have to try and figure out in my stash what I'm going to use to knit the Stephen West shawl. I might spin. No, I'm not going to spin something. I'm never going to have time to spin something before it starts. Unless there's like the same color, unless there's like 2 fingering weight of the same color, maybe. Anyway, I'm thinking out loud, but I will be doing that shawl for sure. So this is what I've been working on, really. I've been spinning too. Before I show you, oh, I'm almost done. I'm after I'm done with the I-cord of my shawl. Be free to finish this sleeve for the lundi cardigan that I'm knitting for Marina, my friend who actually got to try it. She came to Montreal for a vacation, well, for a time off, and she tried it on, and she's gonna look gorgeous in it. And so we got to measure how long she wanted the arm, and I have literally like 3 rows left. Like after when I block it, it's gonna stretch for sure. Oh my god, I just saw the biggest wasp outside. Oh, I hate wasps. I got scared that it was inside. That's why I stopped. So yeah, I have like literally like 2 rows left to do, and then the bind off, which is like a little like I-cord style detail. And then I can work on the second sleeve, and then I can finish the body. So that's exciting. This is made out of what's her name? I'm gonna remember it at some point. Mammoth, woolly mammoth, in a Gotland BFL yarn. I don't remember the colorway though, but it's this beautiful latte type color. And then the other yarn is the Suri alpaca from La Bien-Aimée in the Pagno and Sotsuke colorway, which is gorgeous. And if you're looking for something to tone down a very colorful Suri alpaca, doing a pattern like this one where the alpaca is like kind of in the background, perfect. And I can't believe how soft it's going to be against the skin. It makes me want to knit one, but at the same time, I don't know that I want to knit another whole sweater in 2-color brioche. I have plans to knit another sweater in brioche, but it might be in 1-color brioche because I have a lot of Nitiden from Honor Air that I'm interested in turning into a brioche cardigan or sweater. I don't know yet. So that's that. And then I wanted to show you 2 beautiful. I received this from my friend Shani from Bleu Poussière as a thank you for a little something I did for her recently. And this is the Moomin Falls in Love colorway in her Aries base, which is the MCN, and with a little mini. This colorway is just so gorgeous. I don't know that I'll be able to use it for socks. It's so pretty. And then I also received 1 skein of the not Saison, Noble, which is 70% baby alpaca, 20% mulberry silk, and 10% cashmere. And this one is called Comédie Divine, Divine Comedy. And this one is as gorgeous as the other one. Look at those speckles. Speckles galore. I can't believe, like, this is all dyed in natural dyes, guys. Natural dyes. Like, come on. Gorgeous. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with those 2. These are, I'm keeping as precious. My precious. And then I've been spinning from a Cormo fleece that I sent to a friend to wash, because it was a fleece that a friend of mine, it came from her farm in Vermont, and it wasn't washed or anything, so I sent it to Alexina from Lemlen to wash. She sent me back a certain amount as a thank you, and she kept the rest, obviously, because she did all the hard work of washing it. But I'm spinning it, I'm making little rolags, and I'm spinning it woolen in a long draw, and it's so squishy, and it's so bouncy. Like, I don't have it right here, but my my ply back test, like, it is so bouncy, it's ridiculous. I really have a love affair with Cormo. Oops. Come on. Really. Here we go. Yeah, I really have a love affair with Cormo, and this brown, deep brown Cormo is gorgeous. Then I am also spinning a sock yarn from a Bath bat from, well, a set of bats from Artifacts of Appreciation that I've decided not to show just yet because I received 2 different set of bats for socks, and I'm giving one away to one of my friends, and I don't want her to see which one I'm giving away to her before she actually receives it. So I'm going to show it on the podcast probably next time, by the time she receives it, probably. But I'm spinning a sock yarn on my drop spindle, so that's really fine. I'm gonna do a 3-ply. I hope I don't lose steam on it, but I think I'm gonna be loving it. And those are the projects I'm doing for spinning right now. I'm also trying to decide what I'm gonna do with these. These are sets for the Breeden Colors study of July to December 2021 for Woolen Spinning, which is Welford Pearls on YouTube, and I'm part of the Patreon group, and they're doing these Breeden Color studies. They do twice a year. So those are carded fibers. It's 100% Jacob, and I've never spun Jacob before, so I'm very excited. And I bought, so they had a kit where all those, you know, natural colors were mixed already with those color in each, and so you could spin the little carded prep as is, or you could buy the carded preps all not mixed, so you can mix your own blend basically of colors and study the colors in that way. And they also had this one which has the same natural colors but in bigger size, so I can, you know, play and hopefully do a full project with those 2 together. So I have 103 grams in here, and I have 25 grams in here, so no, 25 gram each, so it's 75 gram of yarn of fiber here. So 75 plus 103 is 178. So I have almost 200 grams. So I think if I made a fingering weight yarn, I would have enough yardage to probably do a shawl with. Another shawl. What an idea. Or, because I definitely don't have enough to make a sweater quantity with that. But, yeah. And depending on what I decide to do with it, I would like to spin it and mix the colors with my hand cards in a way that makes sense for the project I want to make. So if you have an idea of what you would make with this, how you would, so it's 25 grams each of this one, and this one. And this, I believe, it doesn't say, but it's like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's another 25, 25, 25, and then like 5 of each of those. So those are used to be sprinkled in, but how am I going to sprinkle it in? And am I going to marl the colors to like create a beautiful marled neutral? I don't know. The world is my oyster, but I've never played with fiber in that way yet, so I'm kind of interested to see what I'll come up with when I blend the colors on a hand card and spin it. So that's it for me today. I slowed down a bit on the vlogging and all that because of summer, but also because of family matters where I had some less than good news recently. It's gotten back to a better state, but still I'm in a worried state. So my brain was not very much there to make more content for the YouTube channel. I hope it comes back quick. It will. In the meantime, if you would like to support me and my channel, even if I do mostly French tutorials right now, I would love to be uploading English tutorials as well. And this is this is how I make my money right now. This is how I make a living. So if you would like to like and subscribe to the channel, that'd be amazing. If you would like to become a member, I have as low as a $199 a month membership that just gives the happiness of being part of my community and saying thank you, yeah, as a content creator. So thank you for being here. I hope you appreciated my podcast, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend of spinning, knitting, crocheting, crafting, doing all the things that make you happy. Bye.